building a successful barber business is not as hard as you think it is. Like, to be successful in a barber space, it's honestly super easy. And a lot of barber gurus or coaches you want to explain or whatever, they don't want to give you the truth, because it's really common sense. Like, at the end of the day, like, to be successful in this barber space, it literally just takes common sense. And I firmly believe that. Why? Because at the end of the day, you kind of know what you have to do when it comes to building a barber business or any business in general. Like, at the end of the day, you know exactly what you need to do. Like, if you don't know what you need to do, then you're in the wrong business, buddy. That's just my thing. But to me, I'm in the phase now where I realize that working smarter and not harder is a necessity, especially in the barber space. And like I said before, that's common sense. Everybody should know that. But for some reason, a lot of you don't. So I do invite you guys to take notes and DM me if you guys have any questions, because I am going to reveal a lot in this episode. Okay. So number 2, the myth: working hard equals making more. Yes. So in the beginning, you do have to work X amount of hours to get to where you want to get to. But after a while, working 16 plus hours a day, that's not a flex. That's honestly failure, because at some point you have to realize, what am I doing for me to work this many hours? Okay. At the end of the day, you really have to put into perspective, how can I make more while working less? I mean, think about it. If you're actually working 16 hours a day still for like 10 years plus, what are you doing? Like, you should already be at least bare minimum $50 a haircut, in my opinion, you know. But I definitely feel like most barbers treat barbering like a hustle, which it is, but it's also a business. And that's where the reality comes in. And a lot of barbers don't want to face that reality because, well, they don't want to seem like, oh, I'm the boss or whatever, blah, blah, blah. And it sucks because you can't really tell barbers anything, because they get into this like mode, right? They get into this mode where it's like, oh, well, I'm my own boss. I don't have to listen to you, blah, 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 XYZ. Well, okay, well then stay there. That's the reality of it. If you don't want to grow, and if you want to stay working 16 hours a day, be my guest. But I'm good. Like, I think nowadays too, for me, I went from doing all that. I think the most I did in a day was like 27 haircuts. And like, now that I think about it, I'm just like, fuck that. I freak out now when I do over 8. Like, I do max a day, 8 haircuts a day. That's my sweet spot. The bare minimum, I'll do 4, because now I charge high ticket, and that allows me to leverage my time and to focus on other things like this, branding, the shop, building out workshops, seminars, all that cool stuff, you know, that I want to do behind this. Because I personally, for me, I think every barber at one point has to realize they have to grow from behind the chair. You know what I mean? Like, growing from behind the chair is not, oh, I'm going to sell t-shirts, or I'm going to sell a hair product, which is cool. But what are you willing to do to push that hair product or that brand forward? Like, seriously, like, what are you planning to do? Because if you really look at the top names right now that are in that space, like Pacino's, Statement, Hanzo de Fuco, like all those like brands, you have to literally put it into perspective. What did they do to propel them to where they are today? They were literally standing. I think Pacino's was out standing on freeways trying to fucking give samples out. And that's how Pacino's was able to get into Target. And a lot of people want to call him out and call him a sellout. Personally, for me, I don't think that's selling out. I think that's leveling up. Because if you make it to a point where you're franchising your business, then you're doing something correct. All right, like, franchising your business is not as easy as people make it seem, right? You know. But I do want to get into a lot of the cool stuff, like burnout and like no time for growth and no outside life at the shop. Like, that right there is like a big one. Like, a lot of people want to believe that, oh, barbers only cut hair. Yes, that's pretty much what we do. Yeah, you know, it is. But for the most part, like, we do have an outside life. We do want to experience things we do want to experience the fruits of our labor, you know, because burnout's real, no time for growth is real, and no life outside the shop is real. Excuse me. And I definitely feel like a lot of barbers get into that mess where they what's it called? They'll give away their time for little. You know what I mean? Like, the other day I was scrolling on TikTok and I seen this barber where he posted his schedule. He did 27 haircuts, and I was like, what the fuck? 27 haircuts at $30 a haircut, and each haircut was 30 minutes long. It's like, bro, no fucking wonder you fucking hate yourself. like in the caption was like, it said, well, fuck me, right, or something like that. It's like, well, bro, like, you're your own boss. You should already like know by now. Like, you should already know by now where, like, if you leave your schedule open, and especially if you're that cheap, you're going to be booked out like that. You know what I mean? So, and what's it called? Like, I definitely want barbers to reframe themselves and thinking like, okay, I am a brand. I am a necessity. I am valuable, because people will pay for what they value at the end of the day. It does not matter the price. It could be $100. It could be 150. It could be 200, 400. It does not matter, because there are 3 types of people in business and sales. And if you don't know this, and barbers, if you don't know this, you are in sales, whether you like it or not. So there are the free people. These people are down for literally anything. They are down for a free haircut, free this, free that. They will give you your time, but as long as there is no price on that tag, don't bet on that. Like, they are gone as soon as you try to charge them anything. Okay, those are the free people. Okay, and then there are the cheap people, the cheapo, what I like to call them. These people are down as long as the price is right. No matter what, you're going to lose that client if you decide to level up in your business, or you decide to go up on life or whatever. Like, you're going to lose that client. All right, because why? They're out there looking for the best deal. They're not looking for value necessarily. And I'm not saying every haircut is valuable. I mean, what I'm saying is the person behind that haircut makes it valuable. And then there are the value people. These people are the people that you want in your business. Right? They don't ask how much. They ask how. They ask what is it worth? Because they see the value in you. It does not matter the price tag. They want to invest in you because they know that they are investing in themselves, because they are doing that. Okay, so those are the three types of people that are in business. There is the cheapo, the freepo, cheapo, and the value people. Whatever people you want in your business, that's on you. But I definitely feel like there's a level to everything, right? Like, for me, I use the freepo people to leverage my brand. All right, I'll give out free haircuts to those people because I want to leverage their time for my brand, right? The cheap people, I really don't really care for them as much. I'd rather just, you know, like, you know what, like, if you don't want to pay that price, that's cool. I know somebody else that will, you know. I can send you to one of my to another barber that I know that is up in your alley, but I'm not going to lower my price down for you because you don't value that, which is fine, you know. But the value people, those are the people that you want to take care of, because those are the people that are going to push your business forward. And I'm not saying these people are going to stay there, right? These people have the ability to adapt to, because they want to be with you, because they like you, or because they want to support the brand, or XYZ. Like, I've had free people turn into value people. I've had cheap people turn to value people, and XY, and vice versa. I've had value people turn to free people. You know what I mean? It's an ongoing cycle, you know. But I recently learned that when you lose a value client, you gain 3 more. All right. So it's like an eye for an eye type deal thing, right? But one of the things that you have to wrap your head around, though, if you want to work smarter, not harder, is focus on the mastery first. And I'm not saying like I'm a master barber or anything, because I don't believe that I've mastered anything. But what I am saying is I'm focused on mastery because I'm trying to continuously level up on my game. Because if I didn't focus on mastery, and if I was just stuck on XYZ, I would be at point A still. I wouldn't be where I'm at today. Does that make sense? You know, you have to keep learning, guys. Like, keep learning, keep investing in yourself. And when I say invest in yourself, it does not mean buy a clipper. It does not mean go off and buy a new pair of shears or whatever. Yeah, as to some degree, you have to have, you know, quality stuff. But at the end of the day, to some degree, like, you realize that these clippers do the exact same thing. Like I'm at the point now where I don't even buy my clippers anymore. I'd rather just, you know, use what I have, because I do this, and I'm sure a lot of people do this too, where they focus on what they don't have and they forget on what they do have. Like, they're stuck looking at someone else's window and they're wishing that what they had was theirs, when there's somebody else looking through your window thinking like, oh crap, I want what he has. So you really have to look at what's in front of you before moving forward, because what's in front of you is going to push you forward anyways. You see what I'm saying? So that's a reminder that you have to focus on what's in front of you, because if you keep focusing on what's on what XYZ has, or you know, this person has, you're never gonna really value the blessing that God has for you in front of you. You know, and you really have to build with confidence and stop worrying about going viral. Like, I cannot stand that shit. I cannot stand whenever I hear, if I go viral, that means more money. No, going viral does not mean more money. And I've done it before. I have over 50 videos to prove it. Like, yes, I've made 6 figures. I've made good money off going viral, but I've realized that the value off the smaller videos got me more new clients than the viral videos have, right? But I will say this though, going viral does put more eyes on your page. So the people that get attracted and book convert into clients for you they might have found you through that viral video, but then they go through another video and they get funneled in through that video that has a lower view count, right? Why? Because that video might have solved the problem that they have. So that's another thing, is when you're making content, you have to switch from barberish to problem solver. And as men, I don't want to step on no toes here, but as men, especially us men, we definitely are natural, our natural problem solvers, you know. And I'm not saying women aren't like that either. I'm just speaking from my experience. Like, if you're a natural problem solver, you're going to reap that benefit, right? So another thing too is get licensed. Like, even though, yes, you're cutting your garage and you don't need to get licensed, but please just get licensed. It's a milestone that I feel like every barber needs to experience. And not only that, I definitely feel like if you're heading in that direction where you're growing, right, you might outgrow your garage or your studio, and you might want to work in a shop, and you might want community after that. So that's why I'm very big on getting licensed. And at the end of the day, don't stop cutting hair just because you're not licensed. Because at the end of the day, if you still act and do all the things that like a licensed barber does, then cool. But get licensed, because I definitely think that that's the next level up for you, because you might end up outgrowing your garage or outgrowing your studio suite. And that's what a lot of barbers do. Like, they get comfortable in their garage or in their suite, and they don't want to admit it to themselves, even though they fucking know it. Like, I will be attest to that, because I was very stubborn. Back when I was in my own studio. I was extremely stubborn, because I was like, oh nah, I'm not gonna go back to no fucking barbershop. That's bullshit. Fuck that. You know what I mean? So it's really an attest to what you're willing to sacrifice, right? Like, for me, when I started my social media journey, like, I knew what I needed to do. Like, I remember when I joined my first mentorship, and it wasn't out of the blue. I feel like it was, I needed it, because at the end of the day, that mentor cut down what I needed to learn. And within what would have taken me 10 years, it literally took me a month to learn. And I remember that day. So I remember when I joined my first mentorship, I remember I only had $4,800 in my bank account. And this is how I took it as a sign. At the time I had no kids and stuff like that, but that's another story for later. But at that time I only had $4,800 in my bank account. And I took it as a sign. That course, that mentorship was $4,800. So I was like, oh crap, I think this is a sign. I think I should do it. So what did I do? I did it. Right? I did it, and it was at first it felt so uncomfortable. I felt like, oh crap, this is gonna work. Like I really hope this works, because I don't have no fucking money. It was in the middle of the pandemic too, so I had no fucking money. I don't know what I was doing, but I knew that I was committed and I knew what I needed to do. So for you barbers out there that are joining courses and not fulfilling your end of the deal, that's on you. Like that's on you. Like us coaches, us coaches, we try to our best to build a system out for you that worked for us. And why wouldn't it work for you? You know, because you have to have that mindset where it's like, okay, growing is gonna be uncomfortable, and there's gonna be times where it's gonna feel like I'm failing, or it's gonna feel like this isn't gonna work. But regardless of the fact, you still have to show up, because I showed up. Regardless, no matter what, I got my ass chewed out because of my videos. They sucked or whatever. And to this day, I still feel like my videos do suck. But because of that mindset, I'm always leveling up. You know what I mean? I'm always trying to get to the next thing in time. I'm not rushing anything. But yeah, you barbers need to stop with the whole, like, I'm in this mentorship, so I'm expected something. No, you're expected something if you do the work. Right? And if you're coachable, because not every barber is coachable. And I say that with a grain of salt, because every single barber that I came across with that I've tried to coach, they're not coachable. Like I reach out to them, they don't reach out back to me, you know, and it's to a point where like, look, you paid me for a service, but I'm not going to go hunting for you. Like I've reached out to you, I've told you this, XYZ, but at the end of the day, it's your duty to fulfill the other end of the deal. You signed a contract. You knew what you were doing. You knew exactly what you need to do. And to this day, I firmly believe that you know exactly what you need to do, but you don't want to do it because you're so caught up in, oh well, you know, I have this. My girl, dude. Like at the end of the day, that's gonna be the regardless. Put that on pause. Get to work and do the damn thing. Like it's that fucking easy. Like it's really that easy. But like I can go on a tangent on that, but I really think that if you're gonna continue to grow, just know it's gonna be very uncomfortable, and most barbers get extremely comfortable. So when they get their comfortable tested, they get like their tail stuck into their ass. You know what I mean? That oh shit, I don't know if this is for me. And if that hit a nerve, well then you know what you have to do. You know what I mean? So and then another thing too, where I hear this a lot too, especially now, and where I think the barber industry is going. I firmly believe that we are in a transition phase, right? We are in a transition phase where I feel like shops are evolving into a shop suite. And what I mean by that is we're going to see a lot more suites and shop hybrids, right? So you're going to see, and this is my prediction for the future, like in the next 5 to 10 years, you're going to see a huge, like I'm talking like Target size fucking barbershop where you're going to see suites in the back, you know, big enough for two, and big enough for 2 or 3 or whatever. And you're going to see solo suites. And then in the front, you're going to see the walk-in area where you walk in and you see the whole traditional barbershop and stuff like that. And what's it called? That right there is the future, I felt, for the barber industry. And I'm on my way to doing that. Like I already have that here. It's a very very small piece to the puzzle, but I'm literally there. A small piece of the puzzle where that's the future is you're going to see these huge barber suites or barber studio suites where you're going to walk in and you're going to see the traditional barbershop, and then you're going in the back, you're going to see the suites, big enough for two or big enough for just one. But realistically, that's the future of barbering. And so the difference between the two in the shop and suite. So you have to grow into the suite, first of all. Like, you can't just like, fresh out of barber school. I mean, unless, okay, so there's this, I'm going to paint you guys a few scenarios here. So there's Barber A and Barber B. Barber A goes to school, but they're cutting already. They already have prior experience. They've been cutting since high school. They already have their set clientele where after school they get home to cut. That barber can actually transition into a suite if he could afford it. Barber B goes to school with no cutting experience. He doesn't cut at home. He just cuts hair at school, has a job or whatever. That barber should start at a shop, commission preferably, because if you're going to start at a shop and you're going to pay booth rent, that means you already have a system, a whole business system already in play. However, if opposed to a commission shop, that commission shop is going to actually help you get clientele. Yeah, you're going to be paying half the cut, but you're not paying booth rent because you're paying through the work that you're already doing. So if you have no experience and you want to start cutting hair, go to a shop that offers commission. That shop is going to help you build up that chair. And there's nothing wrong with it. There's really nothing wrong because you're not paying booth rent. You're just paying from whatever you produce, whatever it may be, 40, 60, 70, 80, 70, 80, 70, 70, 30. It does not matter. So that's what I think barbers should do depending on their situation. If they can, if Barber A, if you're already cutting, cool, sweet, good to go. Barber B that has no prior experience cutting, only in school, do commission shop first, and then from there transition over into booth rent, because that's just going to save you a lot of time and a lot of the headache and a lot of just a lot of like the whole thing of like trying to make ends meet, because it does get stressful. It really does. Like, it's not like paying booth rent and having no clientele. It fucking sucks. Like, it does. So like at the end of the day, I always hear barbers complain about what cuts they don't like doing. And this is where marketing comes into play. Like, if you don't know your ideal client, then you should find your ideal client. And what I mean by that is, if you don't like doing crop cuts, if you don't like doing editor cuts, if you don't like doing any scissor work, don't do it. Don't post that. Yeah, at first you may want to make ends meet, but don't post those haircuts. Post what you want to do. Like, specialize in something. All these barbers talk about, I want to specialize in everything. Good luck with that. Because a jack of all trades is a master of none. And in business, if you want to go far, you have to specialize and master one thing. 2 things max, right? So I'm going to use myself as an example. I'm using myself as an example, then I'm going to use one of my students as another example. So for me, I do beards and chisel work. That's all I do. If you look at my content, that's literally all I do, right? I do scissor work and beards, and I don't complain because that's my ideal client. I like doing that. So, and then I have a student that I'm coaching up right now, and this guy, all he posts is scissor work cuts. That's literally all he does. All right. And it's all the clientele he's getting. Like, if it really, like, realistically, that's literally all he's getting, and you really have to be what's it called? Like, really, like, what's it called? Like, you really have to understand what you're trying to do. So I really get annoyed whenever I see barbers like complain about, I like doing this and this and this. Well, stop doing that. Stop posting that shit. Like, it's that simple, Just post. So in other words, post what you want to cut. Don't stop posting the Edgar haircut. Stop posting the fringe, because that's a very popular haircut right now. Like, it is what it is. Like, and for me, I love doing that type of haircut, and like I know a lot of other barbers that love doing the same thing too, but A lot of barbers love doing that. But if you don't like doing that, specialize in something. You want to do buzz cuts? Cool, do the buzz cuts. If you want to do comb overs, post comb overs. If you want to do only tapers, post only tapers. You know what I mean? But I mean, let's put it into perspective. Like a lot of, especially like in the black community, right? They're so good at what they do with waves and cutting super curly hair. Why? Because that's what they post. That's what they do. They like it's really rare to see people in that space, do scissor work or stuff like that. I'm not saying they can't, but what I'm saying is they specialize in that type of stuff. Because I've had clients that are black, and they'll ask me, "Oh, do you cut black people hair?" It's like, well, yes, I do. Oh, well, I don't see that in your page. It's like, well, I can still do it, but I just don't post it. You see what I'm saying? You really need to have a clear perspective online. You really have to have a clarity on what you want to cut, because if you don't, then you're gonna fall behind and you're gonna hate yourself. You're gonna hate your fucking job. I promise you that. So one of the things that I started doing in the beginning of my career was I started giving out a lot of free haircuts. Like it was, and I still do to this day. And those haircuts, I use them for branding purposes, right? I use them for branding purposes. I use them for what's it called, to push the brand forward. Like, let's say if I want to do a YouTube video, free people are the ones you want to do that for. You know what I mean? I'll literally go up to anybody on Target or Walmart. I don't give a fuck. I'll tell them, like, hey, bro, I noticed you have long hair. I'm a barber from the area. I would love to give you a free haircut. The only catch is you would have to be okay with being on camera. 9 times out of 10, especially in this economy, they're going to say yes. So there's a saying that you have not because you ask not. Okay? So if you haven't asked for it, then don't expect it. Like, you have to be clear on what you want to do. Okay? So keep that in mind. You have not because you ask not. And I learned that very, very early on in my career is it's a no if you don't ask. It's always no if you do not ask. So another thing too is, I don't do referrals anymore. Like I used to do bring me to people and I'll give you a free haircut. I don't do that anymore. But in the early stages of my career, I definitely feel like giving a lot of incentives really does help, especially when building out your barber career, because it could be difficult, right? It could be very difficult, and I know exactly how that feels, So when I started cutting hair, I gave a lot of free haircuts. I established that already, right? So the next step was I graduated from barber college. I in the middle of that, I went up to 5. And then if they wanted to trim on top, I would do 8. And then right after barber college, right after I graduated, I went up to 10. Why? Because that was a huge milestone that I feel like it was me. And it wasn't even that much. I went up by $5 for a haircut. So I started at $10. And then once I got my license, I went into my boy Augie's barbershop. I remember 2 days before, it was funny because I went 2 days before I went to his shop, and I was like, hey, I keep in mind the person that put me on to Augie was my cousin. He was actually my cousin's barber at the time, and he told me, he goes, hey bro, my boy is about to open up a shop. He needs a barber. Like, go talk to him. I know you have your test coming up soon, so if you pass it, I'm sure he'll give you a job. I'm like, cool. So I was so fucking nervous, guys. I was so nervous in talking to him because I really didn't know. Like I didn't know what he was gonna say. So I went. I remember that day. It was around like 7:00. My girlfriend was like, "Go fucking talk to him. Stop being a bitch." And I was like, "All right, I got you. Let's go." And then I went up to him. I was like, hey, bro, my name's Paco. I'm so-and-so's cousin. I heard you're looking for a barber. He goes, yeah, just get your license and you got the job. Cool. 2 days later, I went and took my test. I fucking passed it. Texted him, hey, bro, when can I start? I got my license. When I got my license, it was one of the best feelings ever, because I remember failing my driver's test like 4 times. And I wasn't really good at school or anything like that. So me passing my barber test was a testament to, like, I'm not fucking dumb. I'm just fucking lazy, And when I realized that, I was like, fuck, I need to take myself more serious. So from that moment on, I started taking myself extremely serious. I stopped fucking around. Slowly but surely, I started like cleaning up my act. I started the next week actually. I remember telling myself, this is the turning point in my life, and I'm not gonna take no for an answer. Like, this is gonna work. I don't care. And I remember I was at AutoZone, and I remember I honestly didn't even go back. I just stopped going, right? But that's another story for later. But so I graduated from school, went up to $10, and then right when I got into the shop, I went up to $13, and that to me was like, oh shit, $13, that's fucking, let's do it, you know. And at first it was hard because I remember sitting in the shop and there was no one for me to cut, and that was very discouraging. But I did have my clientele from where I was from, so I was cutting hair still, but not at the pace that my coworker was. He was back to back all day, every day. But you know, I had to keep in mind that he was the Paco from his city, right? So like, I didn't know nobody. I had to build up a name for myself. I remember I had actually taken social media very serious in 2016, but it wasn't at the scale it is now, right? So I remember sitting there and I was like, it's slow, it's part of it. Like, it sucks, but it is what it is. So I remember I started getting busier week by week, and then I went up to $20 a haircut. And then from there, I think I was at that shop for 3 years. And then once I got to Los Banos, which is where I'm at now, I went up to 25. And that 25 was a lot because every 5 cuts in my head, I'm like, every 5 cuts is $100. If I can do this 15 times a day, that's $300. Okay. If I could do this 15 times a day, it's $300. So I remember making $300 a day with 15 haircuts. Now I only got to do 2 haircuts, maybe 3 to make that. So I remember once the pandemic hit, I was at right before the pandemic, I was at $30, and then I went up to 30. I stayed at 30, and then I joined the mentorship. 3 months into the mentorship, I went up to 50, and I was that first barber in my area that went up to $50 a haircut. When I tell you, everybody lost their shit. Like, everyone was talking shit about me, and still to this fucking day, I still get people talking shit about me, which is fine, whatever. I'm not gonna feed into that. Whatever you feel about me, that's on you. At the end of the day, like, you're just hating on me from what you hear about other people. Like, you don't know me personally, so hey, like, at the end of the day, if you were to ask me how'd you do it, I would tell you I did this and this and this. I mean, you could just see it from my content or my stories that I post. I'm very helpful. So whatever you hear about me is it's not facts. You know what I mean? So I went up to $50, and I got so much like fire from that. I lost maybe 40% of my clientele, 60% stayed. And with that 60%, I ended up making more. So I wasn't even booked up all the way, which is crazy to me. Like I remember wanting to be booked out. Barbers think that being booked out is the goal. No, the goal is to be profitable. Okay. Like, the most I'll be booked out is 80 to 90%. Like, I'm not 100% booked out anymore, because why? I value my time outside the shop, and that goes full circle to what I was saying. Most barbers don't have an outside life. They hate their job. They feel stuck. They feel overworked. They feel burnt out. Why? Because they don't take themselves serious. So this is a message to any barber out there. Like, if I can help any of you guys with something right now, is start taking yourself serious. Like, at the end of the day, like, that's literally all it is, you know. And if you're scared of people judging you, or the shop is going to tell you something because you're filming content, well, then guess what? You're in the wrong shop. Plain and simple, you know. I don't care. It does not matter if you're the most talented in the shop, if you're the most customer service savvy, like, you know how to talk to people. But if that shop is infested with like weed or alcohol, or the barbers there are just shitty business people, they're gonna attach what they feel about that shop to you, because you're around that. So my advice to you is get the hell out of there. Get the hell out of there. And if you have a clientele, go to a suite. But if not, go to a shop that values content, that values growth, you know. Um, so yeah, so when I went up to $50, everybody lost their shit. And it's funny now because fast forward to 2025, that was in 2020. So fast forward 5 years later, the median caught up. Now we're at $50 median now. Like you go to the bigger cities, it's $80. But now where I'm from now, it's 40 to 50. So you can thank me later. You know what I mean? I was already ahead of that, and I was trying to tell barbers, look, this is the future. Nobody wanted to listen to me, which is fine. You know, people would rather, you know, give me a backhanded compliment than actually hear me out. Cool, you know. But I knew what I was talking about, and I knew that if I kept on going with this, I knew that it was going to be for the better, and it was. Like I really, I really am thankful where I'm at today, because now I'm getting ready to go up to 100 here pretty soon, and I want every barber around me to understand. Look, if I can do it, so can you. Like you just have to put in the work, and really understand that it's gonna take a lot out of you, and it's gonna break you before it makes you. Just put it out there. Like I definitely feel like the mindset for a high ticket barber compared to a low ticket barber is completely different, because a low ticket is constantly booked out. They're always working. They're always like doing haircuts and stuff like that. Where the low ticket barber, they're making the same, if not more. I mean, the high ticket barber, they're making the same, if not more, but their schedule is a little bit like they're not as filled up, if that makes any sense. And I'm not saying every high ticket is like that, you know, it's not what I'm saying, but for the most part, the mindset shift has to be there. Like when the highs are high, the highs are going to be super high, but when the lows are low, you know, it's going to be that way. And one of the things I've noticed is, especially at a high ticket, is you really have to consistently get new clients, because the clients you have now are here for a season, right? Like you can cut them up for 5-6 years or a year or two or whatever, and they're gonna eventually, not eventually, but they can eventually transition into, oh crap, I can't afford this anymore, or I don't see the value in this anymore. I'm gonna go somewhere else. The reason why I say that, because that has happened to me, where I've cut up a few people for a while, and then I don't see them anymore. But it's cool because I'll lose that client, and then I'll gain 2 more or 3 more that are willing to pay the price, if not more. And I'm not saying that I'm closed doors, right? You know, what I am saying is you have to realize that you can welcome back your clients with open arms. That's what I'm saying, you know? So that's one thing that I feel like a lot of barbers are gonna have a hard time, especially if you're charging high ticket. You have to be okay with having gaps in your schedule. But when you are a high ticket, you're already a high brand, right? You're a brand even at the low ticket, you know? So you have to realize that too as well, you know? So I definitely feel like if you're gonna be a high ticket barber, you really have to make time for content. You have to continuously be producing at least 3 times a week, posting 3 times a week. And if you're gonna do only 3 times a week, you have to post at least twice a day. Okay, because that's 3 times the effort and 3 times the value that you're going to be putting out, and that's 3 times the clientele chances that people are going to book with you, right? You know, I definitely feel like I built my business off 1-hour haircuts. You know, when everybody else around me was doing 30-minute, 25-minute haircuts, trying to get the most out of their day, I was at 1 hour. And I remember I got so much fucking hate for it, because barbers around me were like, oh, come on, bro, you know, take one for the team, you know, like stop being a this, stop being a, you know. And I'm like, nope, I'm doing an hour and that's it. I remember I got clowned so much at a barbershop here in town for doing content. They would always, oh, it's just social media, bro, like don't feed into it. Those fucking barbers that would tell me that don't even cut hair no more. Those exact barbers that would tell me, oh, it's just social media, like don't feed into it, it's this and that, they don't even cut hair no more. So be cautious on who you take criticism from and who you let people tell you shit, because that's what ends up happening. Like people like that are only here for a season too, you know, like it's crazy, you know. So if you're doing 30-minute haircuts, of course you're gonna have no fucking time to film content. There's no fucking time. And I'm not saying you can't get haircuts in and out. You know, I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is it's a lot easier to film content and to get better at your craft with an hour. You can do a lot with an hour. Like I'm at the point now that the hour there is for the content, or if I'm late, or if my client's late. I give my clients about 15 minutes to get here. If not, they get charged. Plain and simple. I take my time very, very, very serious, and I definitely feel like every barber should have a cancellation policy. These days, I don't really take cash anymore. I take I take digital payment, and people that have a bad track record with me, they have to prepay before they even come in. So if they don't come in, guess what? I keep that money because I take my time very valuable. I take my time extremely valuable. Try doing that shit with the car that you bought. Oh, this month I don't have it, bro. Okay, well, your credit's gonna go down. Do that shit for 2 more months and guess what's gonna happen? Repo. They don't play, bro. So why would a barber play with their time? What I'm trying to say, you know? So one of the things that you have to really put into play is build a system out. Like, okay, if you're starting out making content, the best thing you can do is do 3 videos a day and do 3 clip sequences, right? Do 3 clip sequences. And what I mean by that is make sure you do one clip of hair falling off, one clip of a satisfying action, and 1 clip of a difference being made, and then a showcase, which is the end result. Once you are there, and once you have gotten that repetition done, and once you know what you're doing, you can do 3 of each. You can do 3 of the satisfying clips. You can do 3 of the hair falling off, and then 3 of a difference being made, and then always get 4 angles of your end product. 4 angles. And stop doing the whole spin chair bullshit. That's old school. Don't stop doing that. What you're gonna do is you're gonna grab a light, point it at the fade, have your client tilt their head, and have them look at the camera and make sure you capture some kind of emotion. If you capture emotion, perfect. If not, as long as the product is good, it passes. Right? So those are the things that I would say if you're starting off making content. Do 3 videos a day. You don't have to do every single one of them. But if you're a fucking dog, that I know you are, you're going to record every single fucking haircut. It could be 15 people a day. You're going to do 15 videos. And guess what? Out of those 15 videos, maybe only 5 of them are going to work. Plain and simple, right? But yeah, like another thing that I want to really emphasize is don't rush your skill set. Like don't rush trying to get better at content, because if you rush filming content, you're going to fall on your face really hard and you're not going to want to do it. That's just the reality of it. You're gonna fall on your face so fucking hard that you're gonna be like, fuck this. Stop rushing your content. Just take your time with it. Do your 3 clip sequences and a showcase, and you should be solid. Okay, you know. But like, that's just me being real with the barber industry. Like, we are in a grand time to be a barber. Like, you are in a grand space to be a barber right now. Like, I hope you realize that. Like, it is a wonderful time to be a barber. Like I see this all. Oh, there's so many barbers out nowadays. It's so saturated. Yes, we are in a saturated business, but guess what? You can stand out in that saturated business because, want to know why? Most barbers don't have fucking common sense. That's just the reality of it. Most barbers lack common sense. They lack customer service. So that's an easy way that you can beat 90% of barbers. It's just show up for your clients. Don't move your clients' appointments around consistently. I mean, I get it. Sometimes things happen. But I hear all the time, like, oh, I texted my barber and he didn't text me back, but I had an appointment with him. It's like, bro, what were you doing? Like, do you not care about your business? Like, yes, like you are the boss, but you're also looking like a shitty boss too. But yes, we are in a saturated business, but 90% of barbers lack common sense and they lack customer service. If you can nail those 2, you're going to win. Your haircuts don't even have to be on point. Let me say that again. Your haircuts don't have to be on point. They just have to pass. As long as you have these 2 down, the customer service and the common sense, you're going to fucking win every single time. And you're going to mark every single barber that's not doing that. Another thing you can do too is look around you. Look around your area. What barbers are not doing? And it's really easy. Most barbers are fucking lazy. That's just the reality of it. I think in one day I was able to record at least 20 videos when I was in my low ticket phase. 20 videos. Because I knew the work it required to me for me to get to where I'm at today. And I'm not going to complain about it. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. That's just the reality of it. Like, how bad do you want it? Do you want it bad enough for you for you to do the whole your whole schedule of doing videos? Okay, cool. Then do that. Most barbers know what they have to do. They just don't want to do it because they're, oh, well, I'm chilling today. You know. Another thing too that I want to get into as well is, and this is like the complete opposite of what I was saying, but like I definitely feel like once you're out of that phase and you start feeling burnout come in, you have recorded all these videos and you're editing all the time and you're so busy, I definitely feel like it's time for a vacation. Like, it's okay to take off a week off cutting hair and go off and enjoy the fruits of your labor, because what that's going to do, it's going to reset your schedule. So when you come back, you're going to be booked out solid, because people in that week are expecting you to be there. But when you're not there, all of a sudden people need you. That's just the reality of it. So don't forget to take your vacations, take your time off, and actually enjoy the time with your family, because 9 times out of 10, you're so busy you can't enjoy the fruits of your labor. So one of the things I've learned is I need to reset at least 5 days, and I'll take 5 days off completely. And when that does, it resets my schedule. It was crazy because I had just got back from vacation, and I got back and I was booked out solid. 32 haircuts. 32. I was like, what the fuck? Like, where's everybody at when I was here? Like, it's crazy. Like, so I definitely feel like that's one of the things that you can do right now. If you want to leverage your time, is take a vacation. Like, sometimes you just need the time off, you know? And I get it. Like that whole thing creeps in to where it's like, oh, I need to work hard to earn it. Like, no, like, I feel like a lot of us, especially me, from my background, like, I work so hard. I have a strong work ethic. Like, I know that I can work hard because of the past jobs that I have, that it allows me to understand this is not gonna be fucking easy. Yeah, so you really have to leverage your time and understand that sometimes you need a time off, you know, but that only comes if you worked for it. Okay, like, don't get me wrong, like, everything that I just said, I still stand by it 100%, you know. But yeah, like here's the action step recap. Like, if you're new, get licensed, master the basics, post daily, post your 3 stories daily. If you're new, that's a sure framework that I know will work if you don't want to start filming content right away. Post three haircuts daily. Offer value over price, because sometimes the value, well, most of the time actually, offer value over price, because the value will outshine the price and people will pay no matter what. And if you're established, audit your schedule, raise your rates if you're booked, film and post consistently, buy back your time where you can. Go off and have a vacation. Enjoy the fruits of your labor. Go have fun. Go take your spouse out, your family out, your kids. That's a flex. Like, I really don't like hearing barbers like, hey, oh, I bought a lube, this and that. But like, no, how did you take your family out? Like, what did you guys do? Like, did you guys go to Spain? Did you guys do this? That's a flex right there for me, in my opinion. You know, but if you guys took any kind of value from this, please leave in the comment down below. Leave a comment down below, and thank you for all you guys listening, if you guys have. And then if you guys haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. This will definitely help out the channel. We are actually at 900 while filming this video. 900 subscribers. We're almost at 1,000. That's the goal. I want to be at 1,000 by the end of the year. If you guys can, please leave a comment down below. And if you guys want to be on the podcast, feel free to inquire. I'm always taking guests. Right now, it's a great time to put out your face and build that familiarity with people, and just give more to your space than just cutting hair, right? But on the next podcast, I do have a great one. I do have a few cool guests lined up on the next one. So if you guys want to tune into that, feel free to. And I'll see you guys on the next one.